In this 4-part FNAF series, we've covered a lot of DLC concepts for Security Breach, including ideas from the community, your comments, and official DLCs teased by Steelball. And after seeing so many different ideas, I thought as a finale to this series, I would cover my personal favourite community concept, the Technician DLC. Remember, this is just an unofficial concept, and is not officially announced, so if you have different ideas about this concept, do let me know. So let's get started. As a quick summary, if you haven't seen my previous DLC videos, the Technician DLC has close similarities to Sister Location and Help Wanted. You play as a technician who travels around the Pizzaplex maintaining the animatronics and attractions after hours. Shortly after beginning the game, you are notified that Bonnie has gone offline and head over to Gator Golf. Witnessing Bonnie being dismantled by Vanny, the animatronics in the building suddenly become aggressive towards you under Vanny's command. This results in you getting hunted and having to run and hide while you fight to complete tasks to open lock doors in order to escape. Once you reach the exit, you realize that animatronics are corrupted, leading to a similar leave or stay option seen in Security Breach. By choosing to stay, you work to replace corrupted parts in each of the animatronics to save them and obtaining the good ending. And if instead you decide to leave, well, I'll leave that one up to you guys. Tell me your concepts below and I'll pin the best one. But seeing as Vanny would not want the technician spreading the word, I could imagine an ending similar to Sister Location, where you are at your home when suddenly two red eyes appear and the game ends. As we know, Vanny does go outside the Pizzaplex, so this is definitely possible. So we know the survival adventure design of the Technician DLC would be similar to the gameplay of Security Breach. So why then is it my favourite DLC out of all of them? Well, many of the features in the Technician DLC would vary hugely from the original game. Firstly, we would presumably not have any help from Freddy, as we would not have the same opening as Gregory, so we would be all alone in the Pizzaplex. And while that may undermine the core idea that we are supported by an animatronic in Security Breach, it would offer the opportunity to really focus on the cautious side of the game. Freddy couldn't just pick you up when you were in trouble, which is what makes the daycare, endo scene, and West Arcade areas so much scarier in the original game. Following on from this, the technician we play as wouldn't have the same equipment Gregory finds around the Pizzaplex, like the Fazcam, Fazzablast, and Fizzy Faz, which severely limits the player's mobility and survivability. So you wouldn't become pretty much uncatchable by the end of the DLC, unlike in Security Breach, where nothing seems to stop you. By limiting the speed of the player and the items they can use to defend themselves, the animatronics become a much bigger threat to the player, and this could make this DLC very much horror oriented, as you'd be forced to run and hide more from the animatronics that are now a huge threat. This is done in some areas mentioned before, where Moondrop, the Endos, and DJ Music Man all cannot be stunned, making them major threats. With the key differences out of the way, we can move on to the best features this DLC has to offer that makes it my personal favourite. As a prequel to the events of Security Breach, it could explore the events that we hear about in Security Breach but are still a complete mystery to the community, such as what truly happened to Bonnie. Overall, the Technician DLC as a prequel could cover a major gap in the Security Breach storyline that arose in this video. Despite clues in Help Wanted and Special Delivery, the origins of the Mega Pizzaplex are never truly explained, which is one of the main reasons I like this DLC concept above a lot of others. Rather than offering alternative ways to play the same game, like Choose Your Guardian, it deepens the story we already have. Furthermore, as a technician on the night shift, we would undoubtedly have interactions with Vanessa, which could give us insight into how Glitch Trap's control affects her over time. And that goes for Glamrock Freddy as well. By having a prequel to the Security Breach storyline, we may get a final explanation for Glamrock Freddy's hospitality towards Gregory, and why he was disconnected from the system, which may even be the doing of the technician. There are two major benefits of this DLC being set in the same Pizzaplex we play in Security Breach. On a gameplay level, it allows Steelball to display more areas of the Pizzaplex that did not make the final cut or didn't seem fitting, all of which could be integrated into the Pizzaplex in new areas we haven't seen, such as behind the level 10 security doors, as to not break continuity. This is not only a benefit to gameplay, but also optimization of the game. By using models and animations already in the game, Technician DLC could have a seriously reduced effect on disk space, something that a lot of DLC concepts don't take into account. The final point that brings the whole DLC together is that it makes sense and fits easily into the story we currently have. In so many suggestions I see in the comments, the concepts are so cool, but they're just unrealistic and would make no sense in the story Security Breach has laid out so far. This DLC has a technician, which would be required in a Pizzaplex despite Fazbear Entertainment cutting corners, who would also be the first person to be called out and get details about Bonnie's accident. And later on, when replacing corrupted parts in the animatronics, they would be able to do that because it is their job, although realism in Security Breach does go out the window with the idea that a child can handle advanced electronics. And that is a summary for my favourite DLC concept out of all the many concepts I've seen in the comments and floating around the community. So as this is the finale of the series, I would like to say a huge thank you for all the support across all the videos on this series. And if you haven't seen the others, be sure to check out the others in the playlist on screen now, as it tells YouTube you like this kind of content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.